The Canadian Bitcoiners podcast is just two guys and maybe a guest or two discussing Bitcoin, Bitcoin equities, and the related macroeconomic space. It's not meant to be financial advice, so please, if you're doing any investing after listening to our program, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and understand that any money you invest can be lost. The show is meant for entertainment purposes only, and we hope you enjoy the program. Nice. I'm glad you didn't sneak in and don't be a cuck and buy the ETF drop there.
You are if you are. If you
our group chat buzzing, by the way. Our terminal friend talking about your ETF take in the group chat. We'll talk about it after. But anyway, there's a number of notable stories here. I'm keen on.
We should bring him on one day to discuss it.
He's due actually for MSTR and Coin. So
I'll be happy to discuss it more in person rather than just typing it out.
SB, when you're listening, or when you hear this, let's do something. I mean, I could just text you right now, but I'm busy, obviously. So anyway, where do you want to start with the notables? Yeah,
well, that's as we talked about at the start of the show. You're talking about the lights over there.
You want to start there? I love this. That is the best. It's the best.
Great story. I think this story.
You give the story. You got to see the pictures to go with the story. The pictures are really the best.
So it's an ABC story. So I'm taking this right from a mainstream media. They say Tesla supercharger nozzles are cut and stolen in Vallejo charging station. I hope I pronounced that right. And more than a dozen of these supercharger locations had their wiring cut off. So somebody's going there. I guess they're having fun at Tesla owners' expenses. They're cutting. This is the thing that you plug into your Tesla to power it up. So that's that cord from the charging station to your Tesla. They're cutting that. I guess people are after copper too, because copper is pretty damn expensive.
Yeah,
and they use thick copper in order to charge these cars because they use a lot of power goes into it. So they're not fucking using some cheap copper there. So people are going there, cutting it off and taking it to do whatever they want with it, presumably selling the copper. But imagine, think about this now, right? We're at a time where they're still selling a lot of internal combustion engine cars. There's going to come a point in time, unless things change, in California next decade, they're going to sell no new internal combustion engine cars. At which point, they're going to have so many of these charging stations around. They all have to be guarded with the army. People are going to be waiting for them to be, the first one to set up.
No, they're going to be guarded by armed IRS agents.
Or armed IRS. Did you pay your taxes, by the way? So it's absolutely insane. But not only did that story come out, right? Because just crossing the bay, we could go into Oakland, right? This is a New York Post story. Oakland locals blame a homeless encampment for removing traffic lights, city traffic lights. And so what happened is the city noticed that these traffic lights were being stolen. They attempted to stop the criminals from tampering with these electric boxes that were being stolen. They put up these cement barriers. Even that wasn't enough. They were getting around this. They fucking stole this. So what are they doing? Because these electrical boxes that are used to control the traffic lights over there, full of copper, that's what they want. They decided, no, we're not going to have these fucking traffic lights, Joey. They're going to have fucking stop signs like you have the picture over there. This is incredible. What a way to move on forward rather than having stoplights are pretty bad. It doesn't help with the flow of traffic, but I know a way to really fuck up with the flow of traffic. Let's remove that and put fucking stop signs. That's what they're doing. Violent crime in Oakland up 22% this year. It's according to the recent stats, and 10% increase in commercial burglary. They're taking everything in Oakland, in San Francisco. Good fucking luck if you're over there. This is truly a notable story.
I love this. This picture is incredible. With the stop sign 30 feet off the ground at what's presumably what looks to be a fairly complex multi-lane intersection. You probably had an advanced green there. It looks to me like there's at least some parking, maybe a bike lane there. I mean, this is dicey. You know what I also kind of think, Len? I don't know if they'll ever admit this, but what do you want to bet part of the consideration was carjackings and car robberies? You can't imagine that the guys who are stealing copper are not also jacking cars, right? It's got to be the same. The Venn diagram there, perfect circle. Got to be close, right? We could do a 3-circle Venn diagram. people that Biden says will suddenly lift themselves up by their bootstraps if they get UBI, people who steal copper from Tesla chargers, and people who steal traffic light materials. Perfect circle Venn diagram, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect circle.
What can I say? Like, I'm just shocked that people are they're accepting this. You know, traffic sucks. Traffic really fucking sucks. Traffic gets worse when you bring in more people. Everyone's bringing in more people.
Yes.
Because road infrastructure hasn't been building out as fast as the pace of people coming in. So travel time is increased. And changing it from a traffic light that presumably was programmed in such a way to enable the most efficient traffic, the utilization of the traffic and minimizing delays. Stop signs are the fucking worst, right? Stop signs work very well in areas that have limited amount of cars going through it.
Right.
But if you don't have it, if it's a busy intersection, it's not just simply, they're just taking away the copper. Let's just fucking remove the lights and put stop signs. You're fucking over people that are just trying to get to work. Or you know what? What if somebody's trying to use an ambulance to try to get to the hospital or what? Like, there's people that are getting fucked over left, right, and center. I can't believe people are accepting this bullshit. Yeah. But you know what? I can understand. Things are rough. Copper's expensive. It's there for the taking. I'm not condoning it, but you know, fuck it. Just, you know, if they're gonna do it, makes sense. But they created a situation. This situation didn't come out of thin air. Yeah. It developed over a long period of time through policies and here we are as a result. And how do we fix this? What is the way moving forward? Be honest. UBI
and student debt forgiveness.
That only solves a little bit, right? You think that's going to be enough to help elevate people to a point where they're not going to be doing massive amounts of crimes the same way they are doing right now?
And unlimited access to Ozempic as well. The American way.
Isn't there like a side effect to that?
Probably. Obviously, there's side effects. The thing freezes up your stomach or something.
Anyway, I don't want to get into Ozempic, but just, man, like I look at this, it's a sad situation, right? California was now it's a challenging place to live at in certain places. They had a really, like, you could go skiing, you could go surfing, not too far away from each other. Great weather. The GDP still to this date is still way more than, what is it? More than like 4 or 5 countries in the world.
Yeah.
It's something that's just ridiculous. They generate so much money over there because there's a lot of people living there, but man, oh man, they're just ruining it. And then it just gets worse by the day. San Francisco, a place where a lot of techies moved, businesses moved in, rents shot up, people wanted to move there. Now people are shitting on the streets and taking drugs everywhere. You can't even keep a store open without getting told that you can't close it down. Remember, there was a story we talked not too long ago. You can't, if you're going to close a store, you have to give 6 months notice or something to the city. Like, it was something stupid, right? Like, how fucking dumb is this? But either way, that's just California.
No, I have no additional comment. Just look at that picture. If you're on the audio version, go look up that story of the traffic light replaced by a stop sign. It's like peak Clown World. Clown World's getting close here. Clown World's getting close to climaxing, I would say. Has to be. There's just no way. There's just no way it can keep going like this.
It's notable. That's what it is. Very notable. Okay, I got some stats here.
Okay.
These are very interesting acceleration stats that I come across.
Shout out to the accelerationists. Yeah.
Okay, this is tough, Joey. That this round these off. 14% of Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay. They saw 14% of Gen Z saw
Gen Z is, sorry, cut you off. It's below me, right? Millennial, then Z.
I believe so.
They're the Zoomers. The Zoomers. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So 14% of them saw their credit maxed out in Q1 2024. This is according to the New York Fed.
Ooh.
Okay. It gets worse. 12% of millennials have utilized over 90% of their credit limit.
That's high. That's a lot.
Gen Z and millennials, their median credit limits are currently $4,500 and $1,600. So not a heck of a lot. The $1,600 is, but the $4,500, at least you could say
$16,000.
Sorry, $16,000. My mistake.
Oh, thank God. I'm like, millennials have $1,600 of credit. That's it.
My mistake. $16,000. So the $4,500 is, it sucks, but at least it's a manageable number. The $16,000 is not. Yeah. Okay, it gets worse. 10% of Gen Xers have maxed out their $21,000 median credit limit. 10%. So 1 in
Gen
10 of
X.
Gen Xers have maxed out their credit.
Are you
That's
Gen
it.
X? You're Gen X, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So U.S. credit delinquencies in Q4 rose 9% for ages 18 to 39. That's
Strongest
over 90
economy
days
ever,
overdue.
Jack.
9%
Strongest economy
increase.
ever. Yeah.
1 in 3 young adults.
You got more.
I got more. 1 in 3 young adults. These are people in Gen Z. So
Yeah.
1 in 3, 33%, have no income compared to 1 in 5 for similar age bracket in 1990. This is as per the St. Louis.
30% of people in the
33%
Zoomer
of
bracket have no income.
No income compared to the similar age bracket in 1990 at that time. It was 1 in 5. So it got.
But I bet you it's like the highest. I bet you the Zoomers are also the highest percentage of university or college grads ever too. I bet you that.
Yeah, I can
that's
see
fucking
that.
Insane. That is fucking insane. Okay, yeah, continue.
So, and this is the St. Louis Fed. So again, this is coming from a reputable source. 42% of those with household incomes more than $100,000. I repeat, 42% of people with a household income of more than $100,000 are behind or delinquent under buy now, pay later payments. This is as per Bloomberg. So these are people that have a decent amount of income. If you're earning over 100,000 in the household, it's a decent amount. 42% are now behind or delinquent in buy now, pay later. This is getting bad. Also, auto delinquencies are up by 2.8% in Q1 2024. Yeah. That's pretty bad. But car insurance has gone up, the inflation of that, 22% in April, so year over year. So there's a lot of stats here that are showing we're really screwed. But man, I can't believe how many people have maxed out their credit. How many people are not working, just have no income. But like, as you said, it's the best economy ever.
Last week, I think we talked about this like phenomenon that I just came up with when we were talking. This like in the whole like the keeping up with the Joneses debt spiral. There's actually no Jones family, and it shows with stuff like this, right? Like everyone is just faking it. There is no real beacon of success in sort of the average American neighborhood anymore. Everyone is just riddled with debt, trying to pretend like they've got it all when really all of it is just purchased on credit. Everything. That's insane. I really want to find out that number now about the Zoomers and university grads, because that would be a crazy juxtaposition, having 30% of them not having any income while also being the sort of, subsection of society or subsection of the demographics that has the highest ratio of post-secondary grads. That would be nuts. But I think it's probably true, because they're just giving away tuition or giving away degrees at this point just to get you hooked on the tuition debt drug, right? Like oh man, I got to find that out. I wonder if ChatGPT would have that. I'm not going to type it in, but I bet you they might have that stat.
All right, Joey, you like to go to the pool, right? You like to swim. You like to go to the beach, you like swimming. You like doing stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
right?
I guess,
because if you are a strong swimmer, unfortunately, you're going to be not.
I love this. So right? Eric at it again. He's at it again.
Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, he was saying at a press conference how migrants can be used to temporarily fill a void, because there are people out there that need lifeguards.
Oh, fuck.
And these migrants, they're excellent swimmers. He calls them excellent swimmers. These are his words, excellent
How
swimmers.
Does he know?
So he says that these excellent swimmer migrants can be used to temporarily fill the void of the shortage of lifeguards. So this is what they're going to be doing with these migrants that have been sent over there. I love it. This is a good use of talent, right? If you have somebody that has a particular skill, you try to use them in the job which they are best suited for. In this case, somebody who has really good swimming skills, great. Set them up to be or her or it, whatever, to be a lifeguard, and you're good to go. New York, you got your priorities in straight. I love it. Thank you, Eric Adams, for this piece.
Can you? Okay, listen, I'm not going to. This is obviously like, oh, this guy's a total moron. Clearly, he took time away from heading to vacation in Italy to make this pronouncement about migrants good at swimming. Well, like everyone knows why he fucking said that, and I just want to ask yourself how much of a tizzy, like a complete like migraine-inducing tailspin of screeching, whining, and pillow screaming if Trump had said that. Can you imagine if Trump had said that about migrants, that they're strong swimmers, they need to be, recast as lifeguards and whatnot to help fill the shortage?
These guys
It would
swim
be
the best swimmers, the best.
Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper would be on TV fucking crying. Rachel Maddow on TV fucking crying. Okay. Morning Joe, Mika and Joe Brzezinski fucking crying.
You know who wasn't a good swimmer though?
They'd have all the fucking the migrant NGOs and all these other grifters and con men affiliated with the immigration scams that are going on all over the world. This is unbelievable. This is shameful. This is derogatory. This is racist. It's xenophobic. It's blah, 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 blah. These people are all fucking idiots, but no one is as big of a fucking idiot as Mayor Eric Adams, idiot of the fucking decade. This guy.
Well, what is he? I don't want to say that.
Oh, fuck. Well, you don't have to. I will.
Okay.
The migrant
he was. What was he? The chief of the police force over there? Was it?
Yeah, or some kind of police related job there.
He was one of the higher ups over there, right?
Biggest fucking idiot in the world. The guy makes this claim about migrants. Is on Italy for a vacation. Puts up the kiosks to inform would-be criminals that maybe crime is not a bad idea. Oh, that'll really do it. Video surfaced of him recently during his time with the police force talking about how if you find a crack pipe in your child's backpack while you're searching through his stuff while he's not home, maybe it's a good way to start the conversation about drugs. My brother in Christ, if you find a crack pipe in your child's backpack, the ship has sailed. He needs more than just a conversation about drugs. And you take the PlayStation controller. This guy, Len, he's a moron. Did
they send migrants to Martha's Vineyard or no?
I don't know. Maybe
I thought
maybe they did. Maybe they did. Yeah, maybe they did. I remember seeing a story.
So how come, if there must have been of that group?
Don't forget, Eric Adams was Mr. Sanctuary City. Okay, remember this?
Right.
We're going to be a sanctuary city for anyone, any Tom, Dick, or Harry who wants to come over here from any Central American country, Africa, India, whatever. Okay, you guys all come on over. Now what? Going to be, I guess, New York heading toward. You've heard of zero COVID policy. New York embracing zero drowning policy. Going to be 20 lifeguards at every fucking pool, just doing laps around the perimeter of the swimming area, making sure no one drowns. Insane. This is completely insane. I mean, I love the story. It's good, notable content, but man, is this guy dumb. It's does this give you an idea of how poor the candidates are for mayor in these major cities? Who did this guy beat? Who did he beat? Who was running? Mariel fucking Bowser? Who else was running in that race?
I have no idea.
Mariel Bowser might still be the mayor of Washington. Actually, I don't even remember if she is or not. She might still be the mayor of Washington.
That person should be the mayor of Tokyo with that name, right? It's a perfect right. It's such
Nintendo
a Nintendo name.
Nintendo
right?
just filed a cease and desist.
But I want to go back to they did send migrants. And I think I want to find a hole in Eric Adams' argument here because they sent some migrants to Martha's Vineyard, right?
Yeah.
One of those migrants had to have been a decent swimmer, right? One. Didn't we have a former president's personal chef drown? You figure if that migrant was nearby and saw this, it would have been able to intervene and save the dude, right?
Len, you better get a bodyguard talking like that.
I didn't say who.
You better get
I never said who. I just generalized statement here.
Oh man.
So, right?
He drowned in a 6-inch, the water was what?
It was that meme where you show
oh my god. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, GameStop. Let's talk about that really quick, Joey.
You want to talk about Roaring Kitty? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's notable enough, but this thing went absolutely bonkers once deep fucking values came back, did one tweet and all this something I don't know what happened here, but either way, this goes to show you because this is all Fiat games. This thing was halted in one day 34 times, I think, between GME and AMC. So because it went up so much, they had to halt it. Come on. How many times does Bitcoin get halted? Maybe Coinbase goes down for an extended period of time, but it doesn't mean the trade of Bitcoin gets halted. You can still do a peer-to-peer exchange. Anyways, this whole game, let's be honest, retail never wins. I mean, you might have some one-offs and deep fucking values may come around and become a champion, but really the game is rigged, right?
It's all fake. It's all fake. It's not serious.
Yeah.
Talking to a major FinTwit account who will remain unnamed last week during this whole thing. Like people in his world are just they're in shambles because they spend all this time like writing reports, doing fundamental analysis. Is this company worth anything? What's the net asset value of the treasury compared to the market cap, compared to the EBITDA, compared to whatever. And all it takes is one guy tweeting out the meme of the guy sitting up playing video games to run a stock to a double. That's all it takes. It's actually, I think, a double in a bit, if I remember correctly, over the course of a day or two. But it's not serious. How like you got guys like, I don't know who's a good example of this, like Druckenmiller or Ray Dalio or whoever, talking about like where to park your money in markets and how to protect yourself from things. Like, how do you predict that? How do you predict that? It's impossible. And so what are you going to do now? You're going to go after DFV for, posting a meme? He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He just got out. He pumped up that bag he had left for GME and got out. That's it. That's what else can you say? GME issued debt too. I'm pretty sure that day, or issued equity for debt.
And you know what? They did the right
Who's buying
thing.
that? I know they did. That's the incentive, right? But who bought it?
There is a market. You just issue it. I mean, if it's higher than zero, there's a market.
If the coupon's good. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So it makes sense because if the cost goes up, if the price per share goes up,
absolutely insane.
That makes totally. So in their eyes, I agree. That makes total sense as a business decision. But as an investor, again, that's why I go back to Bitcoin. There's only 21 million of them. If you buy it, you know what you're going to get. And there's no hanky-panky with it.
It's clearly the superior option. It makes me laugh, like when people again are like, well, I spend a lot of time doing research and technical analysis and fundamental analysis, and GameStop doesn't have any value as a company. True, by the way. Some guy who rose to infamy, maybe you would say, instead of fame, 2 years ago, when everyone was locked inside waiting for a vaccine that didn't work, he just sent out a couple tweets, went to Wall Street Bets. Ken Griffin lost his shirt. Who's the other guy who lost his shirt? I forget now.
God, I forget the guy's name. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The guy with the dark hair, the younger guy.
They were cheering those fucking and I can understand why.
Rocked. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But these people who think the finance is serious, like it's not. When people say Bitcoin is just a fantasy token, has no value, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're at the mercy of a guy who wears a bandana trading stocks on a live stream. You're not any more or less serious than a circus clown. Okay. At least, like you said, in Bitcoin, there's no stops, halts. There's no circuit breakers here. All right. If
it goes up 90% or down 90% in a minute, nothing's stopping that from going through.
What happens if IBIT goes up like 30% or 40% in a day?
I don't think ETFs are subjected to circuit breakers.
Okay, interesting.
I mean,
because that makes sense, right? Because no one stops like commodity trading during run-ups, right? So I mean, commodity markets are a lot more liquid; they're a lot deeper. It's hard to get a circuit breaker level of that. But you hear what I'm saying.
But we've had a run-up of Bitcoin during trading sessions, and IBIT had, and other ETFs had run. Even the Canadian ones, we've had like massive. Remember when? Going back,
we had it during the Elon day or whatever, when Bitcoin rose it was like 20%.
I think the ETF came out after that.
Did they?
I'm for Canada, yeah.
Oh, maybe because we weren't doing the podcast when that happened, right? I think that was a little before we started.
Where we had the ETFs, I believe, was for the Chinese mining ban, and then so brought it down to like 30K or so. But then the run up to like 65, nearly 70K in November. So the ETF was there during that time, but it was also there at the time when Luna collapsed, FTX collapsed, a whole bunch of other bullshit. So that was a massive drawdown, and it was, I can't remember what the intraday trading was, but we lost lots and lots of value in Bitcoin. And the ETFs, they didn't stop. So I could be wrong. I was always under the impression ETFs were not subjected to these circuit breakers, but
I don't know. I have to think about this now. I have to find out more about that. Or if someone in the audience knows who's like thought about commodity circuit breakers, I'd be curious to hear, because it's got to be the same rules. I think the Bitcoin ETF would be subject to the same rules again, throwing sort of a wrench into SEC's original thesis. But anyway, story for another time.
Well,
what else do you want to talk about?
While you're getting enlightened on this, I think it's a good time. Maybe you should put in front of you that picture of King Charles, right? That new picture that they painted for him with that nice red background. Maybe that could give you inspiration when you're looking into it. Say, yeah, you know what? Like, this is why there's no circuit breaker. But I don't know why they released that picture like that.
One of the worst ever.
Is
that better or worse than Obama's like green bushes one? The green bushes one is like especially bad. He's like,
I gotta take a look at this.
The green bushes one is nuts. Yeah, Obama. It's nuts.
Is that a picture? I'm taking a look at.
It's a painting. It's a painting.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
Yeah,
that's a fucking painting of him.
Yeah.
Like somebody decided to like gift it to him, or
no, that's the one that's in the White House. That's like the official presidential painting. That's the one. So I think everyone, if I'm understanding this correctly, like everyone gets like a portrait painted of themselves during their tenure as president. And
yeah.
Like that's, you get obviously like the headshot one, but I think you also get one other, and that's the one that he had. Now, most people don't go with that. That's a little less than traditional, I would say. It's not quite as like, again, I'm not one of these people who believes in like, the power of demons or whatever, but I mean, people who are sort of on this like demonic tip, that Prince Charles one, red meat.
Well,
looks pretty fucked up. Honestly.
I don't like he must have green lighted this, right? Like he didn't go through the process. No. Like I'm just figuring out, given his position and the implications of having a shitty picture released, you figure he would have seen it before it was released, right? Like he would have said, yeah, I like it, or no, I don't like it, let's make a change, right?
Yeah.
So he greenlit this thing. And others too, right? I don't think he has the ultimate say. I'm sure there's other people giving him advice, but man, like looking at this, I don't think it's the best decision. I could be wrong. Allegedly not the best decision. I'll leave it at that. And yeah, we'll go from there.
I have other comments on the photo, except that if you haven't seen it, it's worth taking a look. It's very, very bizarre. Not a good idea. Good idea.
I'll go with the green bushes over the red painting.
The green bush one, I at least like the contrast. Like Obama's obviously like a black guy, and I like the sort of contrast, like his skin tone on the green, and I like the pose a little better. The one of Prince Charles, like the Obama one, if you don't like it, it's only because it's non-traditional. Fine, you're entitled to that opinion. But there's a lot of reasons not to like the Prince Charles one. Like the Prince Charles
harder
one,
on the eyes. The red
way
is
harder on the eyes. The contrast is worse. He's obviously like a white guy. The skin tone is like kind of blending in a lot to the background. You can't really see like, is he like meant to be sort of standing in a position of power? Is he meant to be standing back, relaxing? I can't really tell because the details are not clear. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen it enough times and I've seen the Obama one a bunch, but I don't know. Like I just not the direction I would take if I was the artist. That's for sure.
No, that Obama one is way better in my opinion.
Oh
Again, and I'm just going just strictly. It's easier on the eyes. That's it. And there's nothing offensive about either of them. I'll say, but certainly the one that has that green background, I could just look at that for hours and laugh. The other one, I can laugh at it, but I can't look at it for hours. It's just too hard on the eyes. Okay, let's do one last story, Joe. We'll give you a break here.
God bless you.
We'll go Notable North, and just very briefly, Shoppers Drug Mart, they're under fire because they released an ad for a new person to stock shelves, and it was not a paying position, it was a volunteer position, and not just for stocking shelves, but also cleaning store in Toronto. And yeah, so they released a statement saying that it was a mistake and they didn't really expect this. It was just something that it was not something that they expected altogether. It was just simply a mistake on their part. But now they're getting to the point where they're just asking for volunteer employees. I'm sure if this didn't get a lot of backlash, given the fact of what's going on in the world, they probably would have filled a position because somebody would have wanted it. Get the experience, get something on a resume, and maybe make inroads within Shoppers Drug Mart. I'm not saying this is the right thing to do. Certainly Shoppers was in the wrong for doing this, but I'm just pointing out that if this was able to go through without any backlash from social media and everybody else, this would have been filled. That just shows you how difficult it is for some people out there that I think they're willing to do just about anything just to add something to their resume. And that's all I got to say.
There's desperation in the workforce, as we know. And a lot of people who have let's say, a lack of experience in sort of Western employment and the English language and all these things. And so, yeah, they would have filled that if there wasn't backlash. Yeah, I mean, I don't work for Shoppers Drug Mart. I think that's a Loblaws outfit. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, pretty sure. Like, we've been fairly sympathetic to the Loblaws cause on this program. Like, I'm not 100% certain that the price gouging is quite as described in the media. But Len, like, this looks bad. That's it. The number of HR hoops you probably have to go through to post something like that. It can't just be one. That can't be just a branch level kind of, thing, or a store level thing, as banks have branches, but that can't be like a store level thing. That's got to be something corporate gets to look at, even if it's just like regional corporate, and they let it go through for sure. That was,
so it wasn't a snafu. This was something that they have done on purpose.
Yeah.
Even so, interesting. I have no comment on that. It may be true. I don't know. I just am shocked that I came to the conclusion that, and I think we both came to the conclusion that this would have been filled if it was simply a volunteer position. The people are desperate for something, just to get experience and to get their foot in the door. And I'm not sure how well Shoppers pays, but I think people look at that as a decent starting job. But
McDonald's near me has a sign up. They're looking for help. It's like basically, I think it's like $19 an hour. So what's that? That's just a little shy of $40,000 a year. You work 40-hour weeks at McDick's, plus benefits, plus vacation, plus. I mean, if it's like when I was a kid, it may not be anymore. But a lot of my friends like worked at McDonald's for a year or two and then became managers and were making way better money than a bunch of us, certainly in high school. I don't know what it's like now, but maybe the potential is still there for that. Why would you ever take a job for free? Yeah, why would you ever take a job for free at Shoppers when McDonald's will pay you $19 an hour?
19 an hour. It goes to show you, and that's even that wage.
What was minimum wage when you were at your first job? Don't date yourself too hard here, but what was it? Do you remember?
I think. 5.
Yeah, mine was about $7.50. I'm pretty sure. My first job at Zellers, I remember I was hyped because the starting wage was $7.67.
But you know what?
Higher than minimum wage.
Minimum wage back then, you struggled. To be honest, there was no, but it was easier to just work simply on minimum wage and to make ends meet than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Even with $19 an hour, good fucking luck making ends meet. It's a totally different game. I know it seems like a lot now, 19 versus 7, which you had, or 5 when I had, but it doesn't go very far at all.
You can't live on your own on $40,000 a year. Like, there's no chance. Zero chance. No. You'd be driving Uber Eats and stuff too.
No, you'd have to live with somebody else, and you have to skip meals. Like, that's why it's not the end of all jobs. Like, obviously you have to strive for something more than minimum wage, but minimum wage now, before you had a fighting chance, it was struggling to get that fighting chance. Now you have no chance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting worse by the day.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, that's tied to inflation, but we always question the inflation number. That
we don't question it. It's fake and made up. Everyone knows.
Well, I'm not going to go to that.
Well, it's fake and made up. All data is fake. Like, government data is fake and made up, broadly speaking.
I'm not going to go to that extent, but so just
you don't have to. Anyone who's bought eggs or cheese or meat or a house or a car or paid their power bill or paid their gas bill, bought a pair of shoes, bought clothes, had a baby, played video games, bought podcast gear. What else? Had to do any major projects, build a fence, put a roof on. Inflation is not 3%. It's 15%. That's back to the matter. Period. End of story.
100%.
Yeah.
Joey, we're at the end of the stories here, unless you want to rhyme off something else, but I'm sure.
No, that's it. God bless. Good night. Come back for Brent and Mark tomorrow. We'll be talking.
What time is it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll schedule it for 7, but it might be a little earlier, a little later. Keep an eye on the feed. Just depends on when they get here, when we settle in and stuff like that. And I don't know how long we'll go. Probably about an hour, between 45 minutes and an hour, like usual. And then,
there's 2 of them, so you may want to go a little bit longer. But even if you do it earlier, you could still do it for 7 o'clock. You can set it up in such a way. I'm pretty sure that it goes live at 7, so it doesn't screw up with people's schedules that want to watch us at a set time. But just an option. There are a couple of cool dudes. I met them for the first time last year.
Yeah,
at a Rockstar Real Estate event.
It was at Jeff Booth's.
Piper's Heath Golf Course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I want to play there, but I don't have the money to play there, so I played Chinook.
Please-
I played Chinook this
please-
past week.
Please send sats. Please
Joey,
send sats for golf.
$20.50 walking rate. It was.
I'm not
fucking
walking.
great.
I'll cart beside you if you want, but I ain't walking.
It's a great walk. I played tennis that morning and still walked it,
Oh my
and it was
God.
great. Like that's a fun walk. Like you go up and down the escarpment.
Listen, everyone who asked me about Len this weekend, and I said, he's got birthdays, family commitments. Turns out he was just fucking golfing
and playing tennis. Hey, I played tennis 3 of the last 4 days. I played golf on Friday. No, but it was father-in-law turned 79.
Oh, nice.
Soon, so we had to see him this past weekend.
Good.
So yeah, I mean, it's birthday central in Len's house.
Anyway, listen, we'll see you tomorrow. Don't be stupid in the meantime. Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, and don't be a cock and accelerate.
Don't forget, everybody, lots of other stuff on CBP Media Network, including Two Whites and a Blue. Me, Joey, my brother-in-law, Mike, and our friend Will talk about all the problems millennials are having with finance, romance, and just getting by. If you'd like CBP, if you like the NHL 94 podcast, I guarantee you'll like that one. Search for it, Two Whites and a Blue, anywhere you get your podcasts. We look forward to seeing you.